Welcome to your point slope form video tutorial. The lesson today involves two types of linear equations, or two forms of linear equations. One you're very familiar with is the slope intercept form, y equals to mx plus b, where m is the slope, notice it's the coefficient of x, and b, which is the starting value, the y-intercept. Then you have the point slope form. It looks like this: y minus the y value of a point that's on the line equals the slope times x minus the x value of a point that's on the line. And what's really neat about the point slope formula is that you can write the equation of line using the slope at any point that's on the line rather than just using the y-intercept. So it is a good form to use when you don't know what the y-intercept of a line is. You can still write the equation of that line. Let's say we want to write an equation of a line through the point 2, 4 with a slope of 1/2. Generally, it's a good idea to kind of identify what you were given in the problem. We're given a point, which is 2, 4, and we're given a slope, which means we can immediately use the point slope formula to write the equation. So we're going to use the point slope form. We're going to let the point 2, 4, which is the only point they give you in the problem, we're going to let that be the x1, y1 in the formula. And we're going to let m be 1/2 because they're given to us as a slope of 1/2. Substitute those values in the point slope form and you'll get this. Without doing anything else, you are already done with the problem. This is the equation of the line in point slope form through the point 2, 4 with a slope of 1/2. Let's try another one. We want to write the equation of a line through the point -3, -7 with a slope of 2. So again, we want to highlight, or we want to go through the problem and circle the important things. It's important that you know the point. Notice that you have a -3 and -7, and then you have your slope. We're going to do the same thing as always. We're going to use the point slope formula. Now here's where you need to be very careful. We're going to let the point -3, -7 be x1, y1, and let m equals to 2, let the slope be equal to 2. Note that when we substitute those values, we have a y minus a -7. All right? And so we don't throw away the negative, we keep the negative on the 7, right? And then we also have a -3 there for the x1 value. So we need to simplify this, because whenever you see two negatives together like that, they're going to give you a positive number. So to subtract the negative number is the same as adding a positive number. So that y minus -7 is just going to be y plus 7. And then x minus -3 is going to be x plus 3, and you're done. That's the problem. You're done. That is the point slope equation of a line through the point -3, -7 with a slope of 2. All right, in this example, we're given the points 4, 6, and 1, -3, and we want to write the equation of a line. Notice that we are not given the slope. So we're going to have to calculate. If you remember, to find the slope, we need to label our points. All right, we can let 4, 6 be our x1, y1. We can let the x2, y2, or the second point, we can label the 1, -3 that way. And now that we have those labeled, we can go ahead and find the slope to get the difference of the y values over the difference of the x values. And if we keep everything in order, we'll get the answer, which is 3. Now that we have a slope and 2 points, we can find the point slope formula, and we can just pick one of the points. I'm going to pick the point 4, 6 because there's no negatives in it. It's very easy to deal with. And since we know the slope is 3, so we'll substitute those values in, and we'll end up with y minus y1 in this case, which is 6, equals slope, which is m, times x minus 4. And we are done. We have an equation of the line in point-slope. Now, how do we get to slope-intercept from point-slope form? Let's say I start you out with point-slope form, and I want you to write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. There's really only two steps. First of all, we'll start with the point-slope form, and we'll distribute that 2 on the right. So we'll distribute the slope value. So we're going to multiply that 2 times the x, and then we're going to multiply that 2 times the 3. And when we get that, simplify that, we end up with 2x plus 6 on the right. The next thing we need to do is get the y by itself or isolate it by adding 4 to both sides, because we need to get rid of that minus 4 and use the inverse operation, which is to add 4 to both sides. We do that, then those are gone. We're left with y by itself on the left, and if we add the 6 and the 4 on the right, we get y equals 2x plus 10, and this is in slope-intercept form. So given 2 points, let's put the whole thing together. Let's say I give you the points -3, -7, -4, -10, and we want to write the equation of the line. Okay, so since we have 2 points, we're going to go ahead and label them. We don't know the slope, so we need to use a slope formula. So if we use a slope formula and we subtract, get the difference of the y's over the difference of the x's, we'll get 3. All right. It wouldn't be a bad idea to use a calculator just in case you get a little confused about all the negative signs and stuff. It's okay. Then once you have the slope, go ahead and pick one of the points, and everything is negative. It didn't matter which one I picked. I just picked the first one. Use the point-slope form. I'm going to pick the point -3, -7, and I'm going to use the slope as 3. That's the only choice I got for the slope. Substitute into the point-slope form and simplify. When you simplify, in other words, when those negatives, when they subtract the negative, it becomes positive. Subtract the -3, it becomes +3. You get the point-slope form. That's, if you were looking just for the point-slope answer, that's it. You're already done. Let's continue on and get the slope-intercept form answer. So we need our distributive property on the right. Go ahead and distribute that 3. And you get 3x plus 9 on the right. And let's subtract 7 from both sides to isolate the y. We end up with y equals to 3x plus 2. And that is your slope-intercept form answer. You are now ready to answer the 8 questions in this Google form. I believe it's a Google form document.